Hey, Joey Starr here for Starr Quality Kitchen and another entry into my New York head resident of pizza videos. I'm sitting down right now outdoors at the Kaatskeller on Main Street in Livingston Manor, New York. Just a reminder, pretty much every month I visit one pizza place in the state of New York, give you an idea of what's out there, what's good and why it's good and what kind of specialty pizzas that they have. And not that I need an excuse to eat delicious pizza, but I'll take the excuse at my expense in your gain. The Kaatskeller is a wood-fire restaurant that just happens to be in my zip code. They are well known in the upper Delaware Valley of the Catskills for their thin-crusted, inventive pizza options, as well as their use of fresh, usually locally sourced ingredients. I've read a lot of good things about this place, so I'm really excited to check it out. Now, just a little bit about the ordering process. Because I decided to sit outside, I want to take every opportunity I can to eat outside when possible. And it just happens to be a pretty nice day, kind of cool, crisp, but not really cold. You saw some of the scenery on the drive up here. I mean, it's a beautiful day. Now, basically, I got here, there was a sign, because, there's a long entrance going into the place where you pass all the outdoor dining options on the way to the building. So there's a chalkboard out there that says, hey, please come in and see the hostess. So I went in, placed my order, they gave me a number to put on the table. And just so you know, in case you're thinking of coming out here, they do not offer individual slices right now, but they basically serve 12-inch mini pies, a little larger than a personal pizza is what I was being told, which from my experience lately in similar places, that sounds about right. As soon as I walked in, I was greeted by someone who seems to be the owner. He was pretty nice, and actually everybody interacted with was nice. Looks like it's a mixture of family and young local employees, so that's pretty cool. Nice atmosphere, very friendly family life. I also think it's pretty neat how kind of old school style metal deep tray with the place settings and silverware is wrapped in this nice cloth napkin. I think that's pretty cool. Kind of gives it a authenticity of what it's like growing up in this mountainous area. At the time I filmed this video, I live in Livingston Manor, and although I don't care for how cold it gets in the wintertime, it really is beautiful. And you go into town and you swear that you are in a suburb because there's always people over, there's plenty of stores, there's lots going on. Even though it's located, I'd say about 2.5 hours, depending on traffic, from New York City, north of New York City, up in the mountains, you would think it'd be very quiet and remote, and the remote part's somewhat true, but it's actually kind of a booming town here. I've always appreciated that about the manor. I also appreciate how the outdoor dining situation, well decorated, nice looking picnic tables, as opposed to a lot of places they put some restaurant tables outside, and not that they're not nice, but just something really warm and friendly about the picnic tables. And also, there's a fire pit. Well, I don't know if I call it pit, but there's a pile of wood here. I don't know if they set fires at night. I'm gonna ask about that. I'll find out for sure. But it looks like maybe when the situation calls in this evening, they might light a fire there for patrons to enjoy as they sit and dine, and that's pretty cool. If that's the case, I'll have to come back and try it with friends, not to film, just for fun. I mean, after all, I don't need an excuse to get delicious pizza, and if I really like the way it is here, I'll be back anyway on my own. Actually, I've confirmed the firewood situation. So the pile that's close to my table is the supply that they have handy. A little closer to the actual restaurant, there's a legitimate fire pit. Matter of fact, they have it lit right now, and there's some people sitting around it. So I think that's pretty cool. Probably looks great at night. And based on the light situation that they have here stringed across from the trees and stuff, it's probably really pretty to dine out here. I'm thinking that if the pizza's as good as I've been reading about, even half as good as I'm reading about, I'm gonna have to come back here on my own and with some friends and just enjoy the ambiance of the place. There's also a outdoor bar setup that they have just outside the restaurant here. I'm looking now, and it looks like they're setting up to serve that. You'd almost swear it was like some kind of summer party about to start. By the way, they're working away over there. Thank you. All right, it is crunch time in more ways than one. Quick comment about the amount of business. It is a Sunday, as like most of my other pizza videos. I try to show up usually when they're opening or whatever time that they're known to be less busy. I do that on purpose so that I can try to get a secluded table, not disturb people, not hold them up by filming, because obviously it takes longer to order food and film and eat than it does to just show up and eat, right? All that into consideration. So they opened here at 12. By the time I got here, ordered and sat down at this table, it was probably about 12:15-ish, 12:20, and no exaggeration, by 12:30, 12:45, the outdoor dining is packed, absolutely packed. And most of the people I've seen come in are eating outdoors. I think out of everybody, maybe one party actually sat inside. So that tells you something. Yeah, a lot of people here, and really glad I picked this table so I can just kind of get this view. Now, pizza has arrived. So what I ordered is the Mediterranean Retreat. It's one of their specialties, as you can see here. It's kind of looking at a nice thin crust and a lot of your typical Mediterranean ingredients. I see some spinata here. I see some roasted cherry tomatoes. We got some feta and light on the sauce, which is good. There's some onions, chopped onion in here, and oh, it looks like there's some bits of olive as well. And of course, a little lemon on here to give it a little citrus. Again, typical of Mediterranean cuisine, which is one of the reasons why I ordered it. Yeah, I waited a while for my pizza because, you know, good food takes time, right? But during the time I've been waiting and other people have been getting their meals, the aromas from their tables have been reaching me. It drives me kind of crazy because it smells so good. And right now I'm looking at this pizza again and just kind of smelling that aroma, and I'm kind of salivating a bit. Doing a good job of keeping it in here, but let's get to this. I don't typically spritz lemon onto my stuff, so I'm going to try it without it, but I'm going to take a slice here. Oh, look at that. Actually, before I take a bite, I want to show you a little bit unorthodox on the way that they've sliced this up. I don't know if that's going to show up well, but you can get some miniature triangles and you can get some more rectangular pieces, which I'm going to try here. So now with the crust, just the way you like it, the outside has a little crunch there, but the middle's nice and tender. And I'm going to fold this just so the ingredients aren't dropping all over the place. Show you a bit of the char here. It's just a decent amount of char. There's a yellow jacket very interested in my food right now, and I'm going to wait until it gets out of here. Hopefully I don't get stung. I am allergic and I do not carry an EpiPen. I'm going to consider this more of a Mediterranean fold than a New York fold, right? Because we're not messing with a triangular piece. All right, first bite. With that bite, I'm telling you, I feel like I can taste about at least 15 to 20 out of the 33 countries of Mediterranean into that bite. It was juicy, fragrant. There's a hint of a dressing in there, a little bit of a vinegary to cut through. There's really not much fat on here at all, actually. This is actually overall a pretty healthy pizza slice. Definitely taste the olives, the roasted cherry tomatoes, and they blend together so nice. Nice Mediterranean blend. I'm gonna try another piece that's more crust oriented. Let's see about this outer crust here. Not super crispy, but crispy enough that you get a bit of a crunch. I can tell that aside from that little bit of dressing, they didn't otherwise salt or season the pizza, which is good because you don't need it, because you're gonna get enough salt from the olives in here. And full disclosure, I'm not a big olive fan, especially black olives. Even green olives, I'm not that crazy about black olives, but the profile for this kind of lends itself pretty well to the olives, to the point where when I'm eating it, I'm okay with it. I'm more than okay with it. Actually, I feel like the olives even kind of help enhance what's going on here. So, kudos for that. Pizza has a nice chew to it. The midsection is really, although it's tender and it's a little flimsy, it's not soggy at all. Everything's nice and separate and crisp and very fresh. This pizza is definitely very fresh. It was definitely made to order. I waited a little while for it, which is fine. Well worth the wait based on the flavor that I'm trying. I'm really glad I ordered this particular flavor because, I mean, let's face it, great pizza is great pizza, and you go places, I mean, even bad pizza is good pizza, right? But great pizza is great pizza. And I can get a pepperoni slice anywhere. And even in the place that's not up to par, a pepperoni slice is still good, right? But come to a place like this, and you can't get this everywhere you go. You can't get this most places that you go. So I enjoy trying these different kind of specialties because number one, I get to try different stuff, and number two, it gives the restaurant an opportunity to shine. Like, hey, this is something we specialize in that we make that no one else makes. Try it out, and you know what? 9 out of 10 times or more, 9.5 out of 10 times, it's going to be worth it. In this case, definitely worth it. What I like too is you take your bite and the juices just kind of come in. You get those juices from the olive oil, from the tomato, from the spinato. Then as you start to chew, you start to get hit with some of the feta and the tanginess of the tomato sauce. So it's a nice, really nice profile, nice blend. Basically, it's like you're having a little party going on in there. Just all these flavors coming together and they harmonize nicely. And how I feel when I'm chewing that kind of brings me back to, I'm not Greek, but I've known Greek people most of my life, and I've worked with Greek people a lot, particularly before college when I worked in a lot of restaurants. And when I chew on this pizza, I kind of get those same kind of feelings I had eating their food. It's a pleasant feeling. What I like too about this pizza is that each slice is very different. Like, you get a normal pizza, they cut out into those nice, evenly distributed triangle sections. But when you cut them like this, every slice has its own identity. So you can see this one's different. I got more crust in here, less olive, more onion dough, a little less feta. So each bite kind of, although the profile's the same, they kind of have their own identity when you bite and chew into them. I really appreciate the fact that they went very light with tomato sauce. I love tomato sauce, but by doing so, they really allow the other ingredients, the toppings on this pizza, to kind of shine and represent the profile they're going for. So Mediterranean Retreat is actually a very appropriate name for this slice because, again, when I'm eating it, it does take me back to what I know from certain regions of Mediterranean. And don't let the size of the pizza, 12-inch, intimidate you. If you're hungry, you're going to be able to finish it off because, again, as you can see here, very thin on the crust, and at least with this flavor, it's pretty light. Probably the healthiest pizza I've eaten on this channel so far. You're not going to have trouble finishing it. That's really all I can say about the pizza right now. I'll make a quick update on the service. Let's face it, most places that you go to, unless the service is like blatantly bad, most places the service is going to be good when things are going right? You order your food, you get your food, you like it, they ask, hey, you want anything else, blah, 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 they take care of you, you pay, you're done. That's your typical experience. What really separates the adults from the children is how they handle it when things don't go exactly according to plan. Personally, what I look for is if they own up to the problem and they make right by the problem, and they can make right by it any number of ways. Maybe they'll give you a free dessert, or they'll take a little off the cost of the bill. At the very least, to come by and apologize. To me, if something goes wrong in a restaurant and they handle it that way, then they've bought me. They have my appreciation and loyalty. Without going into details, nothing major happened. But the point is, things didn't go according to plan, and the owner made right by it. I really appreciate that. And because of that, I am definitely coming back here again. Besides that, the food is good. They stand by their product. They stand by their service. So they had me at, I'm sorry about that. I'll make it right. That's it. You have a customer for as long as I can reasonably drive here. Anyway, we need some time alone to finish this delicious pizza. So that was a tasty and satisfying lunch, if I do say so. Also of note is the fact that in addition to it being a nice day and everybody was eating outdoors, of course, is that a good number of the patrons brought their dogs and had the dogs with them at the table. And I thought that was pretty cool. It was very nonchalant, very chill. Come in, have your dog. If you have a well-behaved dog, by all means, bring the dog with you. Enjoy the atmosphere, the ambiance. Personally, as a dog lover, I didn't bring my dog, of course, because she'd be trying to herd everybody. She's a herding dog. I just enjoyed the fact that I was able to look in just about any direction and see a nice looking dog or friendly pet hanging out with their owners while their owners dine on such good food. So I thought that was cool. So that's really it. That's the review. The Kaatskeller, good service, good food, great atmosphere, and there's part of me that feels a bit of food regret in that I've been living in Livingston Manor for about 3 years now, and I really didn't know about this place and had never visited here. I knew there was a pizza place in Livingston Manor. I didn't really hear anything specific until I went looking for it like I did. If you're in the area, especially if you live in the area, you need to check it out for yourself, and chances are you're going to enjoy yourself. If you like pizza, you're going to enjoy yourself. That's my take. Thank you so much for watching Starr Quality Kitchen. Be sure to like, share, subscribe, and stalk. I'll check you later.